All right, and we are live, I hope. Apologies to everybody for the delay. We had a few technical issues, but hopefully everything should be working now. Let us know in the chat if you have any issue watching the stream, if there's any issue with the sound. Full disclaimer, we have a bit of an issue with the game audio today, so we will be showing you a bit of the game, but we probably won't have any audio unless it magically fixes itself as we play. Anyways, thank you very much for being back on the deck. Thank you for coming back after so long. It's been a while. I'm happy to be back. We have a lot of things, and I see they were already criticizing my stream, but hopefully it's okay. No, we have a lot of things that we want to talk about. So today, full disclaimer, we want to talk a little bit about what's happened in Season 4, what are the things we've done since the launch of Season 4, what are the things that we've done to prepare for the future of Skull and Bones as well. We also want to, as much as possible, answer as many questions as you have as possible. But just to set the right expectations, we are not going to reveal the entire roadmap for year 2 today. So, you can ask anything. We can tell you as much as we can, but we're not here to make big reveals today. We just want to talk about some of the things that have been happening behind the scenes since the launch of Season 4, and some of the things that will be coming to the game very soon in answer to some of the community feedback that you've been sharing with us, either recently or for a long while. Anyways, long story short, I have two guests with me today. One that you probably know very well, in the name of Samuel. Samuel, how are you doing today?
Hello, I'm doing good. My hair's back to black.
Your hair is back to
compared
black.
compared to previous streams. And I'm happy to be back here after missing the last one. So as Alexis shared, we are not here to kind of review the entire roadmap, but we do have a few reviews here and there. So if you're on the stream here, today is probably the first time you'll hear about things being reviewed before it gets released
Yeah,
wider.
just to give you an idea of how long it's been since the last stream, I realized I didn't change the key art in the background. We're still using the Season 3 key art. So I hope that's okay with everybody. It's a cool key art anyway, so no big deal. But thanks for being here once again, Sam. Another guest that I have with me today is first time on the stream, so please be nice to him. He's been very essential in helping us with some of the work we've been doing throughout Season 4. So I want to introduce him to you now. Reynolds, how are you doing today?
I'm fine, thank you.
Yeah, can the chat hear all of us very well? Is everything again okay with the stream, the quality, all good? I don't see any comments saying nothing's working, so everything is good, hopefully. So Reynald, because it's your first time on the stream, can you tell us a little bit more about you and what it is you do? What is a programming architect do at Ubisoft?
Well, well, basically, the easiest way to explain would be to be in charge of game stability, tech quality, and game production pipeline.
Okay, but what does it mean concretely? What is a day-to-day like for you?
Looking at the live status, see if we have crash or bugs reported, may ensure that the servers run at the proper performance. Looking at the production of the game, see if the people on the productions have having issue preventing them to deliver their features, and looking that everybody is delivering the new features with the quality expected.
Cool, very cool. So, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe today you're gonna be mostly like focusing on playing the game and showing us all your skills playing Skull and Bones. The reason we
Yes.
wanted you today is to make sure that you have, for your side, basically, you can focus on showing us the game and intervene whenever you want. But the reason I have you and Sam today is so that Sam can purely focus on answering questions, giving information about what we've been doing, what we're up to, while you focus more on playing the game. Is that
Yes.
okay?
That sounds good.
All right,
Yeah.
cool. So getting started, are you in the game already? What are you up to?
Oh, now.
Yes.
Oh,
I mean, I'm showing the game so everybody knows that you're playing.
well, I'm just going around right now, but I will probably do some Helm contract first, and then maybe we'll live in.
Cool, cool, cool. So, jumping right into the big topics of today. So, Renal, go ahead, play the game. Pretend we're not here. Pretend you're at home having fun. Show us all the cool stuff that's happening in the game right now. While I talk to Sam about what's been happening in Season 4.
Yep.
So, where do we start?
Well, where do we start? That's a good question. Where would you like to start, Alexis?
So maybe as an introduction and for full disclaimer for everybody, later today we are going to be releasing our letter from the producer. For those of you who are not familiar with what the letter from the producer is, it's essentially a letter that we put together with the production team to explain a little bit like what has happened from our perspective throughout the season and to some extent to the whole year. What have we learned from it? What have we done to improve on it? And also give you a sneak peek of some of the things that are coming, right? So let me show you a little bit what that letter would look like, if I can find the right screen. So essentially, yes. Before I spoil everything, let's start with the top. So basically, let's look back a little bit at season 4, right? Season 4 was the introduction of Vikram and the whole narrative conclusion to the whole year 1 narrative. We introduced mythic difficulty to the game. We've basically implemented a lot of new things that we wanted to implement for a long time for people who want like harder and more difficult content. And to some extent, a lot of things we're very happy with how it went. Some of it we think could have gone a little bit better. And essentially, that's why I want you to talk about today, Sam. Like, what are the things that you think didn't go so well when we launched in 4, and what did we do to try to address it and fix it and make sure it doesn't happen in the future?
I think for season 4, compared to previous seasons, thanks to the community feedback as well, we were alerted to a lot of different bugs and stability issues. I think the community will remember certain issues like not being able to board ships, not being able to carry out crew attacks. One big topic was aiming, where we had degradation in the aiming functionality, as well as a lot of more impactful and deeper seated issues. So a big focus in our post season 4 production was really investing the time and effort and put a lot of focus on addressing a lot of those issues. So as a project manager previously from the quality team, I was looking mostly at developing quality of life improvements. But for season 4, that has taken a bit of a shift to ensure that first we have a good and stable game that is technically ready. So yeah, thanks to a lot of feedback from the community and a lot of videos actually of telling us how to reproduce issues, videos of issues that are happening. We were able to kind of isolate and take a deeper dive into a lot of the different bugs that were raised by even through the bug reporter.
Yeah, so I think it's safe to say that when we launched season 4, we were very early on basically alerted by the community that a lot of things were not going as we were hoping they would go. We implemented a lot of content that brought a lot of issues with the game. Can you give us a little bit of background? Because I know we basically reacted very quickly by putting a dedicated team on the topic to investigate what was happening. Can you give us a little bit of background onto like what was happening basically? What did our investigation lead us to?
Right. So I think immediately after the release of season 4, we noticed much more instability through our internal metrics tracking as well, and we had a bunch of different issues that seemed to appear randomly, such as not being able to set sail, not being able to accept helm contracts, and those are really critical issues that players face because it's part of the daily loop of funding your manufactories, getting enough silver for that, manufacturing your contraband, and so forth. So when we tried to look at the issues a bit more closely, we did add additional logging and like try and find the root causes. And what we have found so far is that a lot of these issues are symptoms of a bigger underlying issue relating to our network infrastructure and how the gameplay systems kind of leverage the network. With the amount of world events that we have been adding over the season and the sheer amount of content as well, being able to fast travel quickly to different locations, it did put a lot of strain on our network implementation. So we needed to kind of really go a bit lower level to kind of identify how we can improve how these systems are being implemented and leveraging the network. So there's a lot of optimization work that has been ongoing. There's a lot of trying to track down the issue, track down the major offenders, and trying to address them. But also at the same time, we also want to ensure that year 2 season 1 and year 2 in general is in a good and stable state. And so a lot of the work has been implementing improvements, optimizations, testing, and really improving the testing process on our side as well to kind of ensure that we catch all these issues before year 2 season 1 launches. And what we have already seen internally is a significant improvement in how the network infrastructure is able to handle not just season 1 to season 4 content, but also the upcoming year 2 season 1 content. So we are quite confident that like when year 2 season 1 launches, that it will be in a much more stable state compared to season 4 and even potentially better than season 3.
Yeah. So I think I can say quite confidently some of the improvements you've done in the background on the network infrastructure and fixing all those issues that were basically playing the game in season 4. I think some of it was already noticed through the insider program, because I remember there's a lot of feedback coming from my insiders saying the game feels a lot more fluid and reactive in general, which I believe, I'm not an expert, but I believe could be the result of the work that you've been doing in the background, right?
Yes, correct.
Hopefully. And Reynald, feel free to jump in, because I know you're like a very active member of that team who did a lot of work on investigating and trying to understand what was going on and try to come up with solutions. So if you feel like you want to add a bit of expertise into what we're explaining, feel free to jump in anytime.
Okay, Samuel explained quite well so far.
Good job, Samuel. You didn't say anything wrong. Just
good.
to answer some of the comments I see in the chat, I know there's like quite a few issues with the audio levels between my microphone, Samuel's microphone. So I did remind Samuel to speak in the mic as much as possible. Hopefully it's better now. We are changing quite a lot of things on the setup since last time, so that's why there's a bit of an issue. That's why we don't have game audio, but we'll do better for the next time, I promise. Also, before we move forward to the next topic, I forgot to mention something very important. We have Twitch drops activated on the Twitch channel today. And as a compensation for the last time, as if some of you remember, we had a bit of an issue with Twitch drops. This time we have not 1, but 3 different fireworks that you can claim if you watch the stream, basically. So the first one will unlock after 15 minutes of watch time. The second one will unlock after 30 minutes, sorry. And the last one, 40 minutes. So stay with us the whole way if you want to have the 3 different versions of the fireworks. Okay, so basically, a dedicated team jumped right into the topic about understanding where were the issues coming from. A lot of work went into investigating, fixing network problems to try to make the game run smoother for everybody. Hopefully, a lot of you on the community side are already experiencing the results of that work. I think we also wanted to give a big shout out to the community in general because, and I have a few examples right here. We know that you've been helping us very, very much, basically, by reporting bugs on Reddit, on the bug reporter. A good example of that is a post that I've seen on Reddit multiple times. I know, Sam, you're on Reddit almost as much as I am, if not more. So yeah, just wanted to give a big shout out to the community. It's very important to us because there are certain things that, of course, we can test extensively before we release an update. There are things we won't be able to catch until it hits the live server. So using the bug reporter, telling us what's happening from your point of view, from your experience when the updates goes live is very important. And we've seen great examples of that with some of the members of the community who provided us with step-by-step instruction on how to produce issues, provided us with videos. So yeah, once again, thank you very much to the entire community for this.
Yep, it's been really helpful. For myself, I think I'm gauging it on a very rough estimate, but I read about 80 to 90% of all posts and comments on Reddit. So it is actually a very good platform for us to be able to connect with the community and also to understand a lot of the issues that the community is also facing. So some of the examples of the videos that has provided us with steps to reproduce it. Once we can reproduce the issue reliably, it makes it very much easier for us to address those issues and push them out to the public.
Yep. So do you want to talk about a few of these specifically? Because I have 2 examples here on my screen, of course. Do you want to talk about these? Do you want to talk about some other ones that we managed to at least partially or if not fully fix?
Sure. So we can start with this one on the screen, which is the Helm mission bug. So it was something that I mentioned slightly earlier, that the Helm players weren't able to kind of really accept the Helm missions sequentially. You accept 3 or 4, and then on the 5th one or the 6th one, you couldn't really accept it anymore, which was very annoying until you sold a banana to the nearby vendor. So it is quite an interesting problem for us. In fact, it's a very complex issue, which also took us quite some time to investigate and understand, because it's not happening all the time. It's happening for some players on some data centers, and sometimes it is quite sporadic in that sense. So it makes it difficult for us to kind of reproduce and isolate the issue. So we made decent progress, I would say, during the entire course of the past 2 months into this issue, and we implemented a temporary workaround fix which allowed you to accept them in sequence. And so there might still be some delays as to seeing the contract turn up properly, but we are still looking into the root causes of the issue. But in the meantime, players should be able to accept the Helm contracts and progress as usual.
Cool. All right, so I think we covered the topic of like how we deal with issues in the game and how we put a lot of effort through season 4 to make sure we're ready for what's coming next. Should we start answering questions from the community? Because we have quite a few, and we also have things we want to talk about and show you that I think will get a few people excited. So we should start with tackling a few questions. That's okay?
Let's go.
All right. So let me pull up the list. First question, the ever-going question: when are large ships coming?
So large ships are coming. They are coming. But we can't say when just yet. But we have been making steady progress on that. And when we have more details, we'll definitely share it with you. But compared to the last time the last stream and all previous streams whereby large ships is constantly a topic, it has been steadily making progress. So want to reassure everyone that it is indeed coming.
To add to this, I just want to highlight that we can't wait to tell you when large ships are coming, but we can't tell you when large ships are coming exactly until we are 100% ready and confident that they are coming at a specific date. They are coming for sure. We're working on it. I think that applies to pretty much everything we do on this game, right? There's a lot of things that we read from the community that they want us to implement in the game. And I would say 90% of it are things that we are either thinking about or working on. But we're very cautious about making sure that when we bring new content to the game, it adds something new and exciting and super fun to play, right? So large ship is a good example. We want to make sure large ships are impactful. There's a reason for you to pick a large ship over other ships without necessarily meaning that everybody is constantly basically just playing large ships all the time. So yeah.
So I think I shared kind of different categories of topics that we are looking at in the past streams as well. We normally categorize things like in short term, mid term, and long term, just to give a bit of perspective as to how soon these topics are coming along, and so that the community also has a good gauge on when to expect these. And I think last year we did mention that large ships were a bit further on the horizon on the long term side of things. Now I would say that large ships is somewhere medium-ish. So it is coming along.
And just to answer a question, no, we cannot confirm whether they're coming in year 2 or in year 3 or in year 4 or in year 5. But we will be able to. We can confirm that we will be able to share more information about what's coming in year 2 very soon. Next question: when is the map getting extended? So I feel like it's a very similar answer, but go ahead, Sam.
Right. So well, I would say that we we can't promise anything now. And it is always something that we want to do. And if you really go to the borders near the expanded map and you spyglass, like players have reported that you can actually spyglass some of the ships there, which is quite interesting. And we are still looking into the different design options to be able to make those reality and that gameplay to be relevant. We don't want to just add another new area and then it'll just be like a bunch of new manufactories. We want to add something fresh as well. So when we want to eventually release that expansion, we want to do it well. But beyond just expansions, we are over the past season, at least in season 4 as well, we have been trying out certain new ideas, such as being able to transport players all to a different server, for example, through the Mythic Vikram event. So it's not just map expansions, I would say, but also the potential for us to be able to have events and fights in separate worlds altogether. So we are already steadily developing on that tech, and we have already made good progress. The first is Mythic Vikram, with more to come. So I think that would still be something that is tangentially related to expansion of map and content in general.
Yeah, very cool. So there's a fair comment in the chat. We talked a lot about things that we can't say when they're coming yet. Do we want to talk about a couple of things that we can say are coming in year 2?
I'm just waiting for you to give me the go ahead, and we'll talk about them.
All right. So let me pull off the screen again, and I will start with the first one. I'll let you pick on the second one. So the first one I want to mention is that throughout year 1, season 2, season 3, we heard a lot of feedback from people who wanted to have cosmetics that are a bit more like gritty, darker, like have a stronger pirate vibe to it. And to some extent, we've been acting on that feedback progressively throughout season 3, season 4. So hopefully you noticed already that the cosmetics we offer are going in that direction. But I'm also very excited because I've seen a lot of the concept arts that the team has been working on and is planning to bring to the game in year 2. And today I want to show a couple of them. So once again, these will be published on the website later on through the letter from the producer. But here's a sneak peek at least 2 of them. So that one on the left is obviously a pirate cosmetic, and the one on the right is a full ship cosmetic, basically. So have a sneak peek to it. Hopefully you'll find them interesting, at least. And the next thing, which is kind of related, which I'm going to let you talk about, Sam, because I know you've been on that topic and I think you're quite passionate about it. It's related to cosmetic because it's essentially a request from the community for a very long time, which is, when can I have the option to hide my armor?
So you can hide your armor pretty soon. And if you see the work in progress video, it allows you to kind of hide your armor visual while still getting the benefits from your armor. So what that means is that you can choose the armor that's most relevant to your gameplay, and then you can hide it as well. And this will be available to all players for free. And you won't be able, you will be able to immediately apply the armor hiding option at the start of year 2 season 1.
Yeah. So I know this is something that the community has been asking for a long time. We've heard this since season 2 at least. And it's not that we didn't want to do it. We really wanted to do it. We just wanted to, once again, we wanted to make it properly, right? So that's why it's not just a setting in your menu. It's not just a little widget that you can turn on and off. It's a full feature that allows you to fully hide your armor, and that we will be able to expand upon later on if we want to do like full armor transmog, for example, or other ideas that we've been gathering from the insiders or from the community. So there's a lot of possibility for us to not just release that feature, but also build on it and really give more option for players to customize the ship the way they want.
Correct. And that, especially when it comes to building this feature, we didn't want just to build the feature for the hiding of armor, but we also want to build it in a way that we can extend upon it and build upon the tech that is built in order to do certain new things like being able to fully change how your armor looks like, your armor transmog. So
Yes.
it's something that we built so that we can reuse later on, and we can bring armor transmog even earlier after the hiding armor is released.
Yeah, there's some additional improvements we bring to year two. So one key topic that we've heard a lot from the players in season 2, season 3, season 4 is the fact that each season we bring new items, new weapons, new armors, and very quickly, basically, most players found their warehouse and cargo space getting a bit cluttered. So we've done some improvements in that regard to help you with like expanding your warehouse space and things like that throughout the season. Can you tell us a little bit more? Are we planning to do more of that in year two? Is there any further improvements that we bring to the game to continue on that direction?
Right. So inventory management is a topic that has been ongoing and will continue to be built upon and improved as more and more items get added into the game, and also new systems get added into the game. So there are plans to kind of improve how inventory management works, but we have also been tackling some of these for year 2 season 1. So what you'll see is that with year 2 season 1, you have the ability to destroy all non-main contract items, and you'll also be able to move contract items into your warehouse, because sometimes you could have them stuck in your inventory and you can't really transfer them because you need them for a contract. Now we give you the ability to do that, with a warning, of course, to kind of say that, you kind of need this item, just make sure to not forget it if you are turning in for a contract. So that would kind of improve, reduce the friction when you're trying to mark multiple items and transfer them across inventories. The other thing for inventory management that is coming up for year 2 season 1 is that treasure maps that have been constantly stuck in the player's cargo and you can't move it to the warehouse, it is now moved instead to the journal where all your activities are. So what that means is that you would be able to view the treasure maps, you would be able to destroy the treasure maps directly from the journal without needing to have it as an item in the cargo, which would help a lot, because then you can just mark all of the items that you don't need in your cargo and transfer all of them to the warehouse without much issue on that part. I know there have been a couple of requests from the community to be able to improve the sorting and filtering, or being able to lock certain items, especially like, say, I always want to lock a repair kit, I always want to lock a certain food item and a certain water flask and a certain ammunition, and transfer everything else into the warehouse. And so those are great suggestions. We want to make sure that all of the cases are covered, so that it's as good as a player experience as possible. So once that those improvements are kind of more firmed up, and you would see a lot more inventory management improvements as we progress through year 2 as well.
Very cool. Thank you for all the details on that. I think it seems like a very little thing, but I think it makes players' life easy on a daily basis, right? So I think it's very important. Moving back to like the year 2 roadmap. Again, I know we can't share like the whole roadmap and everything, but I do want to touch upon like another feedback that we got from the community, which is like season 1, season 2, season 3, season 4 all basically followed a very set formula. We basically introduced new antagonists, continue to further develop the story, bring new ships, new features, new world events, and sea monsters. We heard a lot of feedback from the community towards season 3, season 4 in particular, that they would like us to kind of like change the formula a little bit and bring more of an element of surprise moving forward, so that they don't always know what to expect from the next season. So that's something I want to talk about. Are we doing anything to change the seasonal formula? And if so, what are we doing to change it?
So year 2 will be quite different from year 1, whereby in year 1 you have a seasonal antagonist. With every season, you have a main contract path, which allows you to discover the narrative, and that builds towards all of the different kingpins. Our theme for year 1 was Rise of the Kingpins, and for year 2 we are kind of changing it up. So we are looking more into the pirate lives, or the pirate lifestyles. With that said, instead of just being the helm as the end game, we are expanding that beyond just sort of like end management end game, so that for different players who enjoy different player pirate lifestyles, we would be able to develop that end game. I can't reveal too much now, but we are giving players the option to progress through multiple end games, and I think based on what I've been seeing internally, it does cater to quite a wide variety of players, and I think this is quite interesting in the sense that you wouldn't really know what to expect for each season, because we are adding new things every season, new systems, new progression, and yeah, I can't share too much.
Yeah. No, but it's. I think you're spot on. I think we want to change the formula. I think we want to give players more variety of content. And one thing we've noticed as well from observing how people play the game is that we don't have just one way to consume the content of the game or enjoy the end game. Right? Some people like to sail around and explore. Some people like to take part in world events, see monsters, ghost ship, etc. Some people like to focus more on the Helm Empire and building the Helm Empire. So that's something we want to further encourage by adding more activities, more variety, and also make sure that those different kinds of playstyles are also better emphasized in the game. And we can't say what we're going to add on top of all this, but we can say what we're doing to change some of the features that are already part of our in-game. One of which is very important to a lot of players is our Ham Empire, right? So again, we want to make sure that people don't perceive the Ham Empire as the only end-game activity and that they have to take part of it to participate in the game. The Ham Empire is just one of many activities you can engage in the end game. And maybe Sam, I don't know if you want to talk a bit more about what we're doing to change or improve on the Ham Empire mechanics in general.
Right. So for the helm in general, I'm just seeing what I can say and what I can't say yet. Basically, to put it very vaguely, the Helm Empire will give you the option to, well, the Helm Empire will kind of help you in developing your desired endgame. So there are new systems that are coming, there are new progression tracks which will kind of broaden what you can experience as a pirate in Skull and Bones, and also deepen the experiences that you already enjoy, such as naval combat and collecting weapons and more things, right? So we are looking to, in general, we are looking to add new experiences while deepening existing experiences. And what the Helm can kind of help in this area is that we are repositioning it as a tool for you to accumulate resources and help you progress through these different tracks and pirate lifestyles as well.
Yeah, and I think what it means as well is that Ham Empire as a feature is going through quite a significant overhaul. There's going to be some quite drastic rebalancing of the endgame economy in particular, where we want to make sure that pieces of 8, for example, are really the endgame premium currency with a lot of value. So we want to bring back more value to the pieces of 8 in the future. So it's going to impact a lot of the things related to Ham Empire. And to jump into like answering some of the questions I see in the chat, this is also why moving into year 2 season, we will indeed have another seasonal reset in order to basically make sure that everybody starts fresh into year 2. We all know basically that it's very important for the community to know what is going to be reset, what do they get to carry on with them. So we have a bit of information on this. Not everything is 100% final, and obviously everything is subject to change, right? We still have time to adjust our rewards for almost engaged players and how we approach the seasonal reset. But keep in mind that we think the seasonal reset is very important for us to start year 2 on a fresh start. I think it's a bit hard for you to picture right now because you don't really know how big the overhaul of the Ham Empire is going to be. But once you realize how much it has changed, I think you'll understand why we think it's that way. But long story short, our plan for the future is to move away from the seasonal reset of manufacturers, right? We don't want to And we don't have players basically have to recapture many factories at the beginning of each season and start from scratch each season. As much as possible, we want you to carry on your progress to the next season, while at the same time make sure you always have a long-term objective to work towards, right? So Ham Empire is something you can decide to invest your time in and maximize fully, or just run in the background as you do other activities, or not touch at all if you're not interested in it.
That's correct. Yeah, the main feedback that we have been getting from the community, at least on the Helm side, is that the main feedback is that we don't want to keep rebuilding the empire every single season. And if we're building a pirate empire, we want to be able to retain that progress. And so we have been looking at how we can do this in the past few months leading up to Year 2 Season 1. We have something in place and we'll reveal it quite soon. But in order to make sure that, there is something to work towards, and also that it is you get things that are valuable, we are trying to also move away from the resetting of manufacturers each season.
Yes. So that's the plan as it is today. Of course, your feedback is very, very important to us, especially on these kind of topics. What we want is to make sure that everybody starts on a more or less equal foot when the new season starts, but we also want to make sure we reward your time and your engagement in the game, right? We don't want you to feel like we are taking things away from you. So we believe the rewards we're giving, like ship upgrades and some of the new seasonal currency, will help you get a head start when you launch Year 2. But do let us know how you feel about it, and hopefully when Year 2 launches, you will understand why all of this is necessary. We still have to decide exactly on the Raider Cash rewards, but we'll communicate about this as soon as possible. Great, so that's for the big topics for today. Do we want? I don't know what. Maybe we should check on Reynald. Reynald, how are you doing?
Going well.
What are you playing right now? Is it Vikram?
No, I'm doing a convoy.
Okay. Have you been able to experience any of the anniversary celebrations in the game?
I did the Exeter convoy when you need to get the lion coin.
Cool.
Yeah, I did one.
Actually, we didn't touch upon this. It's a very important point as well. About the lion coins, and if some of you might have noticed that you have the possibility to convert your sovereigns into lion coins. So that's also very important that you're aware of that and that you take advantage of it, because it's also part of the transition into Year 2, in which sovereigns will be fully retired from the game.
Oh.
So if you have amassed a lot of sovereigns, now's your chance to convert them into lion, what's it called? Lion coins?
Silver lions.
Silver lions, sorry. So that, you can use that currency to purchase anything you want during that event.
Right. Yeah. So with sovereigns are kind of the seasonal objective. Every season you reach a certain number of pieces of 8 and you get sovereigns, and at the end of the season as well you also get some sovereigns. But because we are moving away from the reset, then sovereigns don't really make sense in our plans for progression in the future. So we'll be relying more heavily on pieces of 8 rather than just sovereigns.
Yes. Just to address a few comments from the chat, I need to speak slower, because apparently I speak too fast, and I'm being reminded that I'm speaking in English, not French. How do they even know I'm French? I don't know. Is it my name? Is it my accent? I don't know. And there's also a question from the chat, like the website we keep featuring on the stream is going to be available later on today. So it's going to be published in a few hours, so you'll be able to... I'm really trying to speak slow, I promise. You'll be able to refer to that website with all the information we talked about, and all the explanations, and all the background, and also the video you saw about the feature to hide your armor and all of this.
I think one thing to mention as well for the helm is to reinforce the fact that the helm will still be very, very relevant moving forward, even after we move away from seasonal resets. So it is an empire that you can leverage in order to progress. And so we are still looking into improvements to the helm on a very regular basis. And in fact, for Year 2 Season 1, which it was kind of featured on the website a bit earlier, but we didn't really mention, was that you would be able to have... we're delivering some quality of life improvements in that aspect as well. So starting from Year 2 Season 1, you will be able to fund all your manufactories within the region
Yes.
with a single button. So that's
Yeah, and it's
hopefully
also
helpful.
no, it's like you said, it's also a feature that we want to keep on improving season after season with mid-season updates, etc. So if there's any like quality of life improvements that you think we can bring to help you better manage your empire, things that you feel like, you know, if there was an option to do this in one press instead of doing 4 or 5 times the same action, for example, like funnel manufacturers is something we've seen being requested for a long time. Do let us know. I also saw comments in the chat about whether we have plans to build upon some of the current mechanics, for example, fleet management. So I know this has always been the plan, right? Fleet management was always the first step. Whether it's a top priority or not, that's another question. But if it's something that people want to see and they want us to build upon fleet management, for example, do let us know. And feel free to suggest things as well. If you have ideas, trying to slow down again. If you have ideas, do let us know what would you like to see for the Ham Empire. It's very interesting to read feedback on this topic in general.
On the topic of fleet management, I know we have a very minor quality of life improvement that is coming in year 2 season 1 as well, which may be a bit overlooked. But we noticed that players were having kind of a bit of friction and a bit of a difficulty in managing ships from their set sail menu. So that flow has been improved, and I've tried it myself, and it's way much simpler in order to outfit your different ships and being able to load them out correctly for ship assignment as well.
Yes. So once again, we're just giving you a bit of snippets of little improvements we bring into year 2. Obviously, we're not revealing the full roadmap today. There's a lot of big things that we are not ready to talk about yet. They will be coming very soon. So we will have a big show to reveal everything that's coming in year 2 very soon. This is just to give you a bit of information. There's been a lot of work going on, both on the big content and the big features, as well as like improvements for your day-to-day, the way you play the game, the way you interact with our system. So I think you will realize when year 2 launches that the game as a whole has received a major overhaul and major improvements to make it just more pleasant for everybody, as well as all the new content that we're planning to bring in year 2. Other questions. So there's a lot of questions in the chat actually about clans and guilds and stuff like that. Do you want to talk about this, Sam?
For clans, it's still in the long-term bucket for now. I would say that the focus remains the same for clans. The intention is not just that we release the clans feature, because it's quite simple and straightforward to kind of, just do like you're part of a clan and that's it. But then it wouldn't be very motivating to be able to not do activities together as a clan. So we are slowly building towards that, and we want to make sure that when clans release, there are activities that you can do together as a clan. What are the key things that you want to experience together with other players? And if you have any feedback and suggestions for those that would help us consider and put things into perspective as to what players want, then that would be quite helpful as well.
Yes. Other questions I've seen. Sorry, I had one that I wanted to pick up. I lost it. I'm reading a question about, this is a good one. I should definitely look back at it, and then I scroll and find another one.
I saw one just now that I wanted to also answer. Chat is
where was it? Oh, yes. Yes. The topic of PvP and in general open world. So it's a question I've seen on, I think it was asked on Discord, probably on Reddit as well, and it's in the chat now. So thank you for being an active member of the community if that question is coming from you. Some people asking about whether we are planning to revamp open world PvP or improving on the open world PvP in the game, or basically just what are we doing about PvP?
Right. So I think the community would remember that we did announce that we were working on a PvP mode little over a couple of months back. And we have been making really good progress on that. And we have also tested that in our insider program. So those members of the community that have participated in those and that have given us feedback on that, thank you very much for that. And we have also been looking to make further improvements on the PvP mode. So our focus really is on the PvP mode that we're developing, and a lot of time and effort is going into that. And then when that gets released, then we would also need to reconsider whether the open world PvP is still relevant for players who want to engage in PvP. So we haven't really decided on what we would, whether we would, keep and retain it, or keep retain and improve upon it, or promote certain activities more like hostile takeovers to be able to have PvP centered events. I think even for the Halloween event as well, where we had PvP, those were interesting additions. But really, our focus is on the dedicated PvP mode that we announced. So we have been continuing on the development and playtesting for that, and quite comfortable with how it's coming along as well. So really excited to be able to have that announcement go out when it is ready.
Yes. Yeah. So I think you nailed the topic quite well. I mean, I'm personally a big fan of open world PvP. I love the thrill that it gives you, and I think originally we wanted to bring PvP to the open world, to the Indian Ocean. That's why we had Cutthroat Cargo, Ham Wages, and that's why we added the PvP opt-in feature very quickly after launch. But we also very quickly noticed that balancing out those PvP activities in an open world was always going to be challenging, right? Not impossible, but very difficult. And as much as open world PvP is fun, PvP is really fun when it's fair balanced. So that's why our focus kind of deviated from this, and we say, okay, let's do a fair team-based PvP game mode, and that's what we are working on now. And I can't wait for everybody to play it. I think it's going to be quite exciting times. But that doesn't mean we're abandoning open world PvP completely. If it's something that the community really wants us to work on and improve, do let us know. We are very much driven by what the community wants us to work on. So yeah, hopefully when the PvP mode comes out, you tell us what you think. Hopefully you like it. But if you still want to have this thrill of open world PvP in addition to it, that's something, of course, we'll consider when we have more resources and when we're happy with the state of the PvP game mode.
Yep. And then the follow-up question, I just see it is the latest comment there. Will we have more frequent balance patches? Yes. I think for PvP, it is more important because you're fighting against other players compared to PvE. We're not saying that PvE balance is not important. We're saying that we want to ramp up the amount of the frequency in which we do balance changes, and we want to make a more informed and data-oriented approach as we have been to kind of do this a bit more methodically. And so yes, indeed, we will have more frequent balance patches when that goes live.
Yes, and I think I'm gonna try to quote Ernest. For those of you who were on the deck last time or the previous time, you know who Ernest is. Ernest is a key member of the team who's looking at balancing quite actively, and somebody that I bother quite a lot with balancing in general. But to quote some of the things he told me about the key learnings he got from season 3, season 4, and season 4 in particular is that we want to be a bit more careful when we introduce new ships to the game in the future to avoid a scenario where we had the Garuda, for example. Like, we bring the Garuda to the game and it's more powerful than any other ship out there, and it doesn't matter whether people like the ship for what the ship is and its specificities, but we believe a lot of people basically jumped on that ship and played only that ship for the entire season 4 because it was so powerful, it was doing so much damage. And to some extent, it also impacted the difficulty of the world events, mythic difficulty, V-Cram, etc. So yes, balancing is a big topic because of the PvP game mode, but also because we want to make sure that when we introduce new ships to the game, they're not breaking the meta completely. So expect more balancing changes to happen on a more regular basis.
Ernest is really, really busy working on one of the end game options that we kind of teased earlier. So I think he'll be able to bring a lot of good balances and also improvements to ships in general.
Yes. So apparently we have an issue with the Twitch drops. It looks like the third one is not working. So unfortunately, I won't be able to fix it now. But I will look into it as to what happened right after. And like we did last time, we'll try to make it up to you with our next stream, either by bringing back the same Twitch drop or by adding more stuff to compensate. But it will take a while. Yeah, sorry about that. There was also a good question about narrative. The question is like, are we planning to add more impactful narrative moving forward?
Yes. So with our year one seasonal format, we needed to deliver a narrative every 3 months, and also to kind of we introduce a new antagonist, but the arcs tend to be kind of short. So for year two, since we are also moving away from that formula, we are also looking into being able to make more memorable and more impactful narratives. I think the good feedback, the positive feedback from season 4's Vikram cinematic also helped us to kind of shape what year 2 narrative will kind of look like. And we want things to be a bit longer lasting rather than short term, and so it's more impactful and memorable. So yes.
Yes. Yeah, so again, we heard a lot of feedback throughout year one about the narrative, both about the stuff that you liked and the stuff that you thought we could do better. So we are, to put it simply, we are reworking the way we approach the narrative as a whole. So we'll see how we bring it forward in year 2. But we want to make sure that you feel like you're part of the story and that the story develops throughout the whole year. Yeah, I don't want to spoil too much because it's still work in progress. So if I say too much, then the narrative team will scold me later. But yes, we are changing things, and it's part of the work we're doing as well about changing the seasonal formula. Right? It's not just in terms of which features get implemented, but also how do we deliver the story for players to feel connected to and follow throughout the whole year.
Exactly.
Lily asking the important question. What important question? Hippo nuggets. I don't know what you're talking about. What are hippo nuggets? Are we working on hippo nuggets? I've never heard anything about hippo nuggets.
Well, nuggets, no. Hippos, I can't say too much.
Hippos are already in the game. What are you talking about?
Soon.
No comment.
No comment.
Yes, there will be a letter from the producer later today. Yeah, so we are at 55 minutes now. We still have 5 minutes. Again, for those of you who are interested in Twitch drops, there's, in theory, 3 to get. I'm not sure because some people say that the third one is not working. Some people say that they got all 3 of them. The first one unlocks after 15 minutes of watch time, second one after 30 minutes, and the third one after 45 minutes. So if you haven't been with us for 45 minutes, that's probably why you can't unlock the third one. But since we started a bit late, we will give you an extra 5 minutes as well. Hopefully you can all get the 3 Twitch drops if you want them. Will Vikram's wife appear? That's a very good question.
That's a good question. I'll forward it to people for
yes,
consideration.
we'll need to ask our writers about this. Only they know what the story holds.
It's hilarious. Like, I see a comment, don't tease us like that, but...
Actually, sorry, because we talked about so many things and some of them were not directly related to the questions from the chat. We do have a lot of topics we haven't addressed in the chat. Do we want to
Let's go. Yeah.
Try to
go
quick
try and cover
quick
as
answers.
much as possible.
All right. So in terms of features, are there any plans to add a faction/morality system? Any plans to add an officer system?
Yes. Factions is being looked at.
I love it.
Oh my goodness, it's so difficult to answer.
Yeah, I love it how you go like yes, and then you go like, wait, am I allowed to say that?
But yes, we are working on it. When it will come out is something, but we have something interesting there.
Yes,
Okay,
but definitely factions, officers, we're looking into it. Are you planning to rework the treasure map?
Treasure map, no, not specifically treasure map, but we know that the issue with treasure maps is that it was released as part of launch, and we have added a lot of content which kind of led to silver inflation and the rewards for other activities having more rewarding items. So yes, there is a full rebalance that is going on for progression in general, and also silver in general. So not just silver but also rewards. So rewards would be are being relooked at across the entire game.
Cool.
Next,
Will we have our own den to defend?
will we have our own den to defend? Like, you don't like the defending the manufactories, but
Oh, I think they want their own den. Like they want to be build their own den and then have to defend it.
right.
So I want to be
So
honest.
I want that as well because it's something that I can continue building on for my own. If I can collect like a head or something, display it as a trophy. But our priority here is to improve the pirate lifestyle. So while that's still on the cards, it is not too high of a priority compared to giving players more things on a broader and deeper level to engage with.
Okay. I'm gonna throw you one from the chat so you don't know what it is. Are we planning to increase the upgrade parts cap?
Upgrade parts cap has been a topic. We are trying to strike a balance between being able to hoard them and being able to really have a use case for them. So relating to upgrades, there are things that are in the works. So we want to also take that into consideration when we look at the upgrade. At least like increasing the cap.
Cool. Are we planning to implement any land gameplay anytime soon?
No comment.
Are we even considering implementing land gameplay anytime soon? Okay.
Well,
fine.
okay.
Moving on.
LAN. Okay, to be fair, LAN gameplay is a very big part of the pirate experience, and it's something that players have been asking since even before launch. So yes, definitely, it's not something that we have thrown aside. We have been looking at how we can deliver that with the best experience possible, but I cannot comment on that.
Yeah, I mean, to add to what you said, it goes back to the same topic as large ships, as map expansions. Like, we are considering it, we want to do it, but we want to do it right. So we won't commit to a date. We won't promise that it's happening until we say, yeah, we have a good idea, it's happening. But we are definitely thinking about it. Are we planning to add any mini games like dice, card game, drinking games?
Mini games is still a consideration for us. Again, compared to being able to balance the technical stability of our game to make sure it's stable, and developing the pirate lifestyles, that would take a bit of a backseat, but it's not off the cards.
All right. 5 more minutes. Clans we already covered. Are we planning to add 6 people parties for Mythic Boss signups?
As more and more content gets, especially harder content as well, gets released, we are looking into increasing the ability for players to interact with more players than just 3 people in a group, and whether that comes in the form of expanding the group size or expanding whether you can match with other groups, that is still being confirmed on our side.
Yeah, as I noticed that Rena was doing a dance emoji, I also realized we completely forgot to ask the chat what they think about Reynolds' character. Do you want to show off your character a little bit?
I have a weird character.
Yeah, it's a very interesting look. I'm not sure how to describe it exactly.
Well, hopefully with year 2 season 1 cosmetics being a bit more realistic,
Yes.
I think that will kind of help.
We'll give you a beard and an eye patch, and I think you look better. Other question: when are new factions added?
New factions. We want to make sure that new factions are not just a data entry for new factions and they play the same as everything else. Again, whenever we deliver new content and we want to look at making new features, making new content, we want to do it well. So if we introduce factions, we want to make sure that they also have a gameplay, new gameplay element to it.
Cool. Are there any plans to add Kraken?
No comment.
You're cheating. I thought we said this is you're not allowed to say no comment.
Okay, that's a very good question. Next question.
All right. Will there be any graphical enhancement coming in year 2, like ray trace water, general enhancements, etc.?
In year 2, so graphical improvements is something that we have been constantly looking at. So we aren't ready to share anything at this point in time. But it is something that we are looking at season to season as well to improve the graphics, and really realistically into year 3 when it comes to that as well. And I think the priority for us is that we realize that at least on the technical stability point of view, there has been a lot of pressures that are related to graphics. So we want to kind of address that first before kind of pushing up the graphical level, so that we can ensure that we don't deliver a graphical improvement and then it causes more instability for the entire game.
Cool. What else? When is the game added to the Game Pass?
Okay, so I saw a Reddit post regarding this, like saying that adding it to Game Pass will help improve the acquisition of the game to kind of get more players into the game, and that's a really fair point. And I can't confirm anything, but we are indeed looking at ways to improve how we can get more players to engage with Skull and Bones.
Cool. Any plans to add cosmetic upgrades in addition to current figureheads?
Yes, there are. It's not just cosmetic upgrades, I guess. But cosmetics will continue to be worked on. There will be a lot more improvements, and I've seen some of them, and they're quite interesting as well. So
Yes.
that will happen season to season.
And same thing, this is a perfect topic. If you have anything that you'd like to see, new cosmetics or specific cosmetics that you'd like to be able to upgrade, do let us know, because I know the art team is always eager to get more ideas and feedback and suggestions. So
Yep.
do you have any plans on reworking or changing or adding more depth and opportunities to escort convoys or missions?
Escort convoys and missions has been something that has been available since the start of the game. So every now and then we are revisiting all of the older features to kind of make sure, like, for treasure maps as well, to kind of make sure that they're still relevant. That will take a bit of time to look into. Our focus remains on delivering fresh content and features and very interesting things that players can continue engaging with Skull and Bones first. And then along the way, we'll also revisit some of these older systems.
Cool. All right. A good question from the chat, where to give that feedback. So you can go on Discord. The Skull and Bones community Discord is a great place for you to open up a thread, leave feedback. Reddit is a great place. I think 90%, if not 99% of the Skull and Bones team or Ubisoft in general goes to Reddit to read what people say on about the game. So it's a matter of just share your thoughts, share your ideas, get other people to tune in and leave their comments, upvote, etc. And for sure we'll see your suggestion and feedback.
So that's a good comment. That's a good question. I personally look at Reddit a lot. Like I mentioned, I read almost every comment there. Unless the community starts posting hundreds of posts every day, then it gets a bit more difficult to keep up to. Alexis and the community team also looks at all social media very frequently on a I wouldn't even say daily. It's like hour to hour,
Yes.
like minute to minute. Sometimes
on the train
I
to
open
work, on the train back from work, when I wake up.
there's
Yes.
Discord. There's a fair chance that if you have been posting a lot, I kind of remember the Reddit username as well. So you can post your feedback on any of the channels, even on the live chat here, and we do look at it. And that it goes into a very rigorous process where we do identify the top issues, and Alexis tells me, okay, the community really wants like these are the top 10, and it's like,
Yes.
okay, I need to give an answer to Alexis as well. Otherwise,
Yes.
I'll get into trouble. And then also for a bit of a longer term, we are also looking into more streamlined ways in which you can provide feedback.
Yes. So yeah, just to just emphasize what you just said, feedback is very, very important for us. It's a key part of our production cycle. The production team, Sam, but also all the other members of the production team is constantly asking us like, what does the community want? What is the top 10? So don't hesitate to tell us what you think, what you want, what we should focus on. It helps us really not only give us ideas, but also help us prioritize what is the most important thing we should work on next. Just to answer a few comments about Twitch drops, we know we started a bit late, but technically there's 3 Twitch drops, one for 15 minutes, one for 30 minutes, and one for 45 minutes watch. So even though we started 10 minutes late, you should still be able to get all of them if you've been here since the beginning. If you haven't been there since the beginning and you missed a third Twitch drop, this is not the last time we give away those Twitch drops. So don't worry, next time we'll be able to give you some more. Can't say exactly when the next stream will be, but we'll have a lot of improvements that we want to do to the audio, to the settings, etc. So we'll get back to you on this. And I think we are running out of time. There's one last question that I think is a great question for us to end this stream. Are you happy as a Skull and Bones team?
I think I'm definitely very happy working on Skull and Bones. Like I'm also very happy to be on the stream and working with Alexis and so close to interacting with the community. Like honestly, I think as on the dev team, it's very rare to have the opportunity to deliver improvements, deliver on feedback and things that players are asking for, and really have this back and forth with players. Because for a lot of games out there, you deliver a game and that's it. You have no chance to make improvements. There's no cause for correction. There's no way we can kind of really get input and actionably deliver that to players. So a lot of the things that you see today, a lot of the quality of life improvements and a lot of the things that we are doing and how we are shaping season 1 and year 2 as a whole has been really based on what the community has been asking for. And while that some of them might take a very long time, not say a very long time, but a longer time, some of them might be shorter term improvements. We take all feedback seriously, and we are really happy when things go live, and we kind of see on social media that players appreciate it, and it really makes a lot of the work worthwhile. So even today on the live chat as well, like thanks for joining us on Twitch, because and really being very interactive on the chat as well. It's really something very different working on a live service game and being able to see the work and all the hard work that we are putting in being appreciated. Yes.
Thanks, Sam. What about you, Reynald? Are you happy?
Yeah, it's quite interesting to play. To play the game I'm working on, because as a lot of devs were playing the game ourselves, and we can see the games improving, and we sometimes make suggestions ourselves or report issues ourselves. So it's very motivating, and see that there is engaged players is very heartwarming when you work on the game.
I can add on to that. Reynald was sharing with me yesterday that he was playing the game live and he found an issue with the game, and he was like, "Well, we gotta fix this." And then he goes back into the dev side and works on a fix together with a couple of other developers, pushes the fix and goes back to the live game. It's like, well, yes, finally I can progress again. So
Yes. So yeah, as like I said, we need to end the stream now. I need to release you and go back to actually working on the game. Thank you very much for being here. I just want to say one more thing. As you probably all know in the chat, our anniversary event started yesterday. And it's a great opportunity for any of you who may have missed out on some of the content throughout year 1, who still has like some of the weapons, cosmetics, equipment that you want to unlock before we end the year. That's a great opportunity for you to do so. So please jump in, try to enjoy the anniversary event. We hope you enjoyed it anyways. We will probably be hanging around every now and then. Like Renal said, we all play the game in the studio. So if you see us, feel free to say hi. And yeah, we have really a lot of cool stuff coming for year 2, and we can't wait to tell you more about this. Like I said throughout the stream, we have a letter from the producer coming later today that will provide a more succinct recap of everything we talked about today. And yeah, and don't forget to convert your sovereigns.
Can I say one thing for year two?
Of course.
Internally on the dev team, I've seen so much progress on the year things that are coming on for year two, and compared to what we had in year one, those are really interesting things that are coming up soon. So I'm really excited to see how players react to it when we do officially release the year two roadmap as well. I'm just super excited. I can't wait for it lah. It's just very exciting.
Your Singlish came out. That's a sign. That's a sign that you are excited.
Yep.
So for the viewers who don't know what Singlish is like when you hear somebody from Singaporean add the la at the end of the sentence, it means his emotions are quite intense.
Yep.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you very much, both of you, for being here again today. Not sure when we'll do a next stream. Hopefully, you guys are keen to come back once again. But in the meantime, thank you again for the entire community, for all the help you provided us throughout the whole year, all the feedback, all the ideas, all the positive, all the encouragement. Thank you for just being in the game and playing the game as well. It helps us a lot to see how you consume the game and how you enjoy the content we produce. And I will see you again very, very soon. Thank you, and have a great rest of the day. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.